Hey, this is Dave and Varun from Precision Fitness, and during the time with the whole coronavirus things, a lot of you have not been able to get to the gym or go to your training facility, so we figured we'd come up with a home workout for you. So we got a bench here, got some weights over here, which we'll just be going back and forth. The weights are anywhere from like 5 to 20 pounds, so if you have that kind of setup at home, this is a very basic workout using bench and some dumbbells. Varun here is going to coach me through it. I'll go through the exercises. So here we go.
Alright, so first what we're going to do, we're going to start with a superset of thrusters and some front planks. David's going to move the bench. He's going to start with his neck and shoulders on the bench. He's going to make sure his feet are nice and flat on the ground and he is able to feel his heels. He's going to drop his hips down. Good. He's going to feel his heels, feel his hamstrings and glutes as he starts squeezing all the way up. Good. Back on down. He's trying to maintain a good rib position as he finishes. Very nice. Good. And we can get about 15 reps on this one. Again, really focusing on making sure we squeeze bottom up. Okay? Very nice. The next exercise is going to be just a good old front plank. We can do it on the bench. A slightly easier version is on the bench, and to make it a little harder, we can do it onto the ground as well. He's going to be on his forearms and toes. He's going to tuck his hips underneath him really well. Good. He's also going to be pulling his elbows towards his toes to get those lats activated. If you notice, his elbows did not move too much, but he is feeling a little bit more abs being engaged. So hips tucked real tight. Good elbow pull, feeling abs. We're going to just hold this for 30 seconds.
All right. Boom. So then you're going to go back and forth between the thrusters and the planks, just taking about as much time to get from one exercise to the next. If you feel you need a little longer of a rest after the planks, before you go back to the thrusters, that's fine, just don't take too long. You're going to do 3 rounds of those 2 exercises together, thrusters followed by planks. All right, next superset.
All right, so actually the next we're going to get into a tricep. We're going to do a tricep of bench goblet squats, bench rows, and single arm presses. So would you like to get to the front of the bench?
Yeah. So he'll talk me through it. I'll come from
He's going to have his feet shoulder width apart. Good. Toes out 5-10 degrees if needed. All right. He's going to have his arms up nice and high, weight close to him, and he's going to be driving those elbows a little bit forward as well. Good. And then he is going to start with a slight hinge position or hinge movement, and then bending the knees. Perfect. He's just going to squat on down, making sure we got good knee tracking. Good.
So you can see what it looks like from the side.
And with the goblet squat, it is easier to keep our upper body a little bit upright. Nice.
Just make sure your knees don't go too far forward out over the toes. We're not trying to go that direction.
So start with the hinge and then bend the knees.
Kind of think about like you're trying to sit down. That might be the easiest way to think of it as well.
We'll do, according to, depending on what weight we're using, we're going to probably go about 10 to 15 reps. The next exercise is the bench row.
And I'm just changing this up so you have a better angle to see what I'm doing.
He's got one leg up on the bench, one onto the ground, one hand on the bench, one hand holding onto the weight. He's keeping a nice neutral spine, good head position. He's going to initiate through the shoulder blade and get a nice good full pull. Yep, perfect right there, not allowing the elbows to get too high, so finishing right there. Very nice. His goal also on this one is to make sure he is not rotating from his lower body or abs or lower back. Good, so he's maintaining some tight core going on here, getting that initiation through that shoulder blade. Good, the next one is just a basic single arm chest press. Same thing, he's going to lie onto the bench, making sure his feet are on the ground. He's going single arm right here, and all he's going to do, keeping a nice good 45-degree angle from the body, he's getting a nice full press, pushing all the way up, bringing it down, pressing it all the way up. Good.
And the reason we're doing single arm is that's going to force your abs to fire a little harder so it doesn't throw you off the bench from the side that you're pressing from.
So he's going to go about 10-15 one arm, 10-15 the other arm. So this will be our first tricep that we were working on. The rep range, again, from the goblet squats is about 10 to 15. For the bench rows, 10 to 15. Single arm presses, 10 to 15, depending on what kind of weight you're on.
And then once you're done with the single arm press, jump right back up to the goblet squats and go through those three times through. All right, we got one more superset with this one.
So again, our last tricep involves step-ups, pullovers, and bench push-ups.
All right, so I'm going to turn this sideways so you can see the step-ups. All right, if you want to use weight for the step-ups, that's completely up to you. It's also going to depend on how tall your step is.
Dave wants to use some weights.
Yeah.
He's going to put a foot up on the bench. He's going to be in a very small, slight hinge position. Perfect start and stop position. Before he comes up, he is feeling the foot push through the bench. He is feeling hamstrings and glutes already. Perfect. Now give me a nice, smooth, slow drive all the way up. Perfect. He can work on just coming up double legs. He can work on coming up into a balance as well. Then he's going to stick his butt back as he goes on down. Very nice. Good. All the way up. Perfect. Butt back as you go on down. Very nice.
The key to coming down is you want to make sure you slow that descent.
Yes.
Don't just get to a
Don't
certain
just
point
fall
and then
down.
just drop.
Yeah.
All right, because then you're going to put a lot of pressure on this leg and the knee, ankle, and hip. So always control the up, best you can, and control the way down. A lot of benches are slightly different heights, so if your bench is taller, you may have to adjust the weight or just use body weight, and that's fine.
The next exercise Dave is going to be doing is a pullover. Grab the 20. Okay. So Dave is going to go back on lying on the bench. He's going to put his feet on the bench. What that's going to do is going to allow him to get his back nice and flat onto the bench. This is a core exercise. So he's going to grab onto the weight. He's going to get it over his head.
Yeah, so for the weight, you want it to kind of sit between your hands. If you've ever done volleyball, you made that little
Diamond.
Yeah, you want the dumbbells going to sit right between that diamond.
Also, we can try a different variation of where we just hold both edges. So we can do this variation as well.
So either way will work.
So again, getting his back flat to the bench. He's feeling his heels, feeling his hips tucked underneath him a little bit, maintaining a good, nice, tight rib position. He is going to allow that weight to travel backwards while maintaining good rib position, and then he's going to bring it in, exhale, and crunch it in as well. So,
be careful how far back. The farther back you go, the more your back is going to arch.
So again, if you're seeing, Dave is doing a really good job. He's not letting this happen. Good, so he's maintaining that good rib position the entire time, the good hip position as well. Nice. Good. Same thing for that, guys, 10 to 15 reps. And now we're going to work on our bench push-ups. So this is just some good old-fashioned push-ups that we're going to be doing onto the bench. He's going to grab onto the bench. Just like the front plank, he's going to have some nice tight hips going on. Good. He's going to row down to the bench, squeezing some shoulder blades. Very nice. And then pushing all the way up, filling out that upper back. All the way up and filling out that upper back. Yes, very nice. Good. And again, keeping a really nice tight core, making sure he's not snaking up or arching his back as he comes up. Very nice. So same thing, guys. 10 to 15 reps on that. With that tricep, we'll go 3 rounds of that. 3 rounds of step-ups, pullovers, and bench.
And that's basically our initial beginner bench workout.